Located today in Hanover Square in downtown Brunswick, established in the late 1700s by Oglethorpe, General James Oglethorpe. Okay, this is Hanover Square, one of the two largest squares in Glenn County. And this was the center of everything back in the early 1800s and late 1700s. Hanover Square is named in honor of the House of Hanover, which King George II of Britain. Hanover Square was the hub of county and city business. Okay, where you see the fountain is right there. The courthouse, the original courthouse, was a multi-use building, which I'll explain later. It was right here in the center of Hanover Square where the fountain is today. 1825, the city held a lottery to raise money to build a building right here, a multi-use building right here where this fountain area is. It was used as a jail, city hall. It was also used as the Masonic Lodge, and also as a school. It was 2 stories, and they raised $12,000 to build it. This building right here with the Mason symbol at the top served as the county courthouse, the first county courthouse in Glenn County, the jail, and also the Masonic temple for Ocean Lodge 214. And it stood in the center of Hanover Square. The ground floor of this building that was here, the 2-story multi-purpose building, was for the jail and for county and city business. And the top floor was used for the Mason building. They leased it. 1837, 1839, Glenn Academy held classes in this building that was here, the 2-story multi-purpose building, while Glenn Academy was built a couple blocks down the road. But this is the site right here where the fountain is, where the first courthouse in Glenn County was built. Okay, in the mid of the 20th century, the square fell into disrepair, overgrown. So in the 2000s, Signature Square came and revitalized it, cleaned it up. The Signature Square people replaced the fountain and also these walkways. George Street was right there. When you first got off the ship, there was a landing or a dock right here at the end of George Street where the river is, and people, the first thing they see was this Hanover Square. Back then, it didn't look like this. It was a muddy area, a stockyard, and in the middle right here, over here where the fountain is, was the courthouse. This was a stockyard for when the ships would unload right there, because you can see the river is right there, and that's where the landing was. So they used to just take the stuff from the boats and just stock it out here like a storage area. At one point in late 1870s, there was a mass transportation was catching on. The cities were growing. They needed a way to transport people around. So the city passed a resolution to allow the Macon and Brunswick Railroad to build a railroad from George Street through Hanover Square, through this area, to the port right over there. The public found out about this railroad they were going to build through Hanover Square and had a public outcry. In 1881, the city of Brunswick passed a resolution to not allow the train tracks to come through Hanover Square and down George Street. Several more times Hanover Square was threatened in 1895, 1900s, and 1952 to put a trolley line through here, because the trolley line ran from Newcastle, so they just wanted to run it all the way through here. But it fit in a highway. They wanted to put a highway here too in the 50s. 1884, the Ladies Park Association restored this whole park. They put a fountain in. In 1884, the city dug a 313-foot artesian well. So this right here you see powering this water is an artesian well, 300 feet deep. Mineral water. This water was known from all around Georgia and the United States to come here and either drink this water or bathe in it or use it for healing properties. It had minerals in it to help you heal. The fountain did 60 gallons per minute, and this water was tested to be pure by the local authorities. It served as a drinking water system for the locals and also for people visiting from around the area seeking healing waters. Later on, the Brunswick fell into financial problems, and the parkkeeper's position was done away with, so the park fell into disrepair, and the fountain kind of wasn't taken care of and kind of didn't work correctly. In the mid 20th century, the park just overgrown and was left neglected. So in the early 2000s, the Signature Square people came and revitalized this whole area. When they found this fountain, the only thing left was the bottom part, like the bowl. But they took the bowl and put it in Jekyll Square in downtown, and this is what they replaced it with. Okay, this is the original fountain from Hanover Square. from the 1800s right here. They took it out of Hanover Square. Used a tall crane classic style close to that 1885 period. And the gardens around here were planted with similar flowers and roses and bushes from the same 1800 period. In the late 1800s, everything was Victorian style, so the garden was also done in a Victorian style as well. During World War II, this whole area was used for people to sleep. They would sleep on the grounds out here until their house was built, because there were so many people coming to Brunswick during World War II that they didn't have enough housing, so a lot of people had sleeping bags and slept out here, working at the shipyard, getting the ships built for the war effort. So I'm gonna give you a little tour of Hanover Square. You can thank the Signature Square group that revitalized all this, so you can have a great park to walk in. But at one point there was a statue here on this pedestal from the Civil War, and it created a lot of controversy, so they moved it somewhere else. So the bandstand was probably right in this area. It was real close to the statue, so it was in this area somewhere, and they moved it closer over that way. But basically the square today is just this big grassy area with trees and a fountain in the middle, really nice, and benches. Got plenty of benches there. You also got this middle area with the fountain with the iron fence. You can tell they got decorated for Christmas. Keep this as the main area where they got the flowers and the shrubberies and the bushes and the plant. And there's the fountain over here this way. And you can see the fountain, the detail on it. Kind of similar to the period, late 1800s. See the birds on the bottom. There's another side over here with just more benches, pathways, trees. You get a chance to come out and look at it. There's a lot of trees out here with Spanish moss. And you can walk from any road to get over here. There's walkways going to every road. And they got palm trees in here as well. But imagine this, late 1700s up till early 1800s, this was the center hub of Glenn County and Brunswick. Courthouse was here. The landing was right there for the boats. So everything centered around this area. This is Brunswick's first central government area right here, where this fountain is. Everything happened right here where I'm standing. Late 1700s, early 1800s. Eventually moved out as the population grew. They moved it out. Stand right at the fountain. I'm gonna give you a 360 of the whole park. Hanover Square, or Hanover Park. That's actually the center right there. But this is all the way around. The fact is that after the ladies in 1885 finished with this awesome park, they had plants and had a fountain put in. The city around the perimeter of the park today is paved, but back then they paved it with oyster shells around the whole perimeter of the park, so you could drive around it. Okay, these are the iron fences that they restored in the early 2000s, and also this is the same kind of fence they kind of put up in the 1800s to keep the cattle or livestock from coming into the Hanover Square.